Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Badass Life channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrew Abad, and in today's poker segment, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the highlights from our monthly Monster Meetup week with PokerFaceAsh at Georgetown, Texas, at the Georgetown Poker Club. For those of you who don't know, I'm one of the owners at the GPC Club, and we are trying to do a lot of really cool things over there. We're doing monthly Meetup weeks with poker bloggers, with myself, with a lot of people from my network. We're also doing charity events and benefit events. We're upgrading our live stream. We have insane games. This past week, we had a 5-10 game that we ended up putting the $320 straddle. So there was tons of action, and it's a lot of fun. It's a very cozy room. So come on, check us out. See if you like it. See for yourself. And maybe I'll meet you guys there next month. But without further ado, let's get into the action. Hey, what's up, guys? We are finally arriving here to Georgetown Poker Club for our very first Monster Meetup week. We're gonna have some 1-2 meetup games with PokerFaceAsh, and we're gonna have our live stream later today at 6 p.m. It's gonna be a round by round, no limit hold'em and PLO game on the stream, as well as 5-10 no limit hold'em tomorrow. So head down to Georgetown Poker Club, come play with us, have some fun, and come meet us. It'll be a really good time and a lot of action. So head down here. Good luck. Alright, guys, in this first hand we are in the PLO round, so we get 4 cards and we're playing the great game of Pot Limit Omaha. It limps to me on the button, and we look down at Ace King 9-8 with King High Hearts. Now this is a good enough hand for me to open it up, punish the limpers, and we'll be playing in position the whole hand. So that's what I do. I go ahead and pot it for 65 bucks, and we get 3 callers. The flop comes Ace Queen 9 with the Ace Queen of Hearts. So we flop ourselves top and bottom, as well as the nut flush draw, and we have some backdoor straight draws. It checks it over to me again, and we go ahead and down bet a little bit. Not necessarily, we didn't pot it. We bet 175 bucks into like almost just a little under 300 bucks, and it falls to Ash, and she decides to raise it up. With her stack size and the amount of money that it's on the pot already, she's got roughly about 2x the size of the pot, so it's kind of like an aggro stack. We just decided to get it in, and the turn was an upsuit 8, which was a very good card for her because she had Jack 10 6-5 with Jack 10 of Hearts. So basically she flopped open-ended with a royal draw, but I had her out for her royal, and she had the second nut flush as well. So you can't really blame her. This hand kind of like really played itself, and she actually took the lead on the turn. So now we're waiting for a good river for us. We still have plenty of outs, and the 9 ball in the corner fills us up to make a full house and beat her straight. So the first hand went our way, and we're hoping that the rest of the session goes our way as well. In this very next hand, we're back to playing the Cadillac of poker, no limit Texas Hold'em or 2-card PLO, whatever you want to call it. But it folds around to Alex in the hijack, and he looks down at Jack 9 offsuit and opens it up for 30 bucks. I look down at A6 suited and decide on a call. Button folds, small blind folds, and I believe Dirty Dan defends the big blind with King 8 offsuit. We take a flop 3 ways, and it comes Ace Queen 10 with 2 hearts. Dirty checks it over to Alex, and Alex decides on a sizing of about half pot. There's $93 in the middle, and he goes ahead and bets 50 bucks. This is a pretty easy call for ourselves. There's no really big point on raising, and folding is definitely out of the question just yet. So we're just gonna go ahead and make the call, which is what we did. Dirty down gets out of the way, and we're gonna take a turn heads up, which is the 3 of diamonds. These are a complete brick, so it doesn't really change anything, but we see Alex sizing up to pretty much full pot. He makes it $175 to go, and our alarms are going off now. It's either one or the other. He's flapped the monster and he's trying to blow the pot and potentially get paid, because he knows that I'm gonna call him light in a lot of spots, or he has some sort of draw and he's trying to do the same, potentially make me fold a better hand. So we are not convinced just yet. Alex and I have tons of history. He was my roommate at some point back in the day, and we played a lot of poker together. So I know that he is very capable, and he doesn't need to connect with the board that much to be putting chips in the middle. So for all those reasons, I decided on a call again. I think it's pretty much the best play. Raising doesn't really achieve a whole lot, because if he does have some sort of bluffs, we're just gonna shut down his bluffs, and if he has us beat, we're just gonna value time ourselves and potentially lose the max. So we go ahead and put in the call again, and the river, it's another brick. It's the 4 of clubs. Now it's a little bit interesting because he decides to bet 400-ish. I think it's just a little bit under 500, and now we have a decision to make. We called on the turn based on the assumption that if nothing changes, we're probably going to go ahead and call a lot of rivers that don't like complete the front door flush draws, a lot of rivers that don't complete the pair plus draws for like straight type hands. And with this run out, I really don't think that he would be betting the hands that he is potentially trying to represent that he has. I mean, like, if he does have a queen or a set, like, yeah, he's gonna do that. He can have king jack and flip the nuts. We basically don't beat any of his value, and that is a big of a problem because there are way more combos of hands that have us beat. But the thing is, like, I really don't think that he would be betting a single pair hand like this. So like, if he had a better ace, I don't think he would be going with that sizing, because it's very unlikely that he's gonna get called by worst. But I don't know. I honestly thought he had a similar hand that he actually showed he had, which was minstrel, and I decided to go ahead and make the call. And basically it's a hero call. Even though we have top pair here, it's still pretty much a bluff catching hand. We have no kicker, and there's so many hands that have us beat. But we found a call, and he just giggles and tells me that I couldn't help myself, which is very true. A lot of times I can't help myself. A little part of me dies inside every time I fold. But he should know that by now. He's known me for years. But let's get to the next hand. Alright guys, in this hand we're back to playing PLO, and the $20 straddle is on. So officially we're playing 1, 2, 5, 10, 20. And Jared and PokerFaceAsh decide to limp, and I look down at ace, queen, queen, 10 on the cutoff. This is a very nice hand, and I'm going to go ahead and continue punishing the limpers. I didn't necessarily need this nice of a hand to do so, but since we picked up a premium, we're going to go ahead and pot it. And 3 people called. After we decide to pot, Aaron out of the small blind decides to call with 10-9, 8-7, nice little rundown, but he has no suits. Jared has ace king 9-4 with 3 clubs, and PokerFaceAsh has king king 8 deuce with no suits. The flop comes queen jack 10, all diamonds. So Aaron flaps the bottom end of the straight, Jared flaps Broadway. PokerFaceAsh just has an overpair, but she does have the king of diamonds, and I flop top set. Now it checks it over to me, and since I know that everybody knows I'm a maniac. I'm perceived as the most active player in the table. I know that there's a very good chance that somebody just checking to trap and potentially check raise, or just playing their hand very passively because they know that I'm going to be doing a lot of betting, especially when I'm in position. So I go ahead and decide to check back. I don't want to get blown out of the equity that I have with flapping top set. So we see a turn 4 ways, which is the 7 of diamonds. It doesn't really change much. If we were beating the flop, we're still beat now. But there's something interesting, which Aaron leads into the field for 150 bucks. I don't know if he tried to do it as a bluff, maybe because he had the 8 of diamonds, which is a blocker to the stone cold nuts, which is 8-9. It would have been a straight flush. Well, actually, it's not the stone cold nuts, because ace king of diamonds would be a royal. But I don't know if he did it as a bluff, or I don't know if he thought that nobody else had diamonds, so maybe he had the best hand. He gets through Jared and PokerFaceAsh. They both fold their hands, and now I really want to see a river, because if the board pairs and Aaron actually has a strong hand, we might be able to get some money here. Aaron was perceived to me as being on the tighter side, so I was also gonna proceed with caution, which is why I just flatted. There's really no point in racing. If he would have folded, and if he did have it, I would have just lost more if the river didn't pair the board. But we go ahead and take a river heads up, and it's a lucky 7. Running 7s for the win. We now have top boat. He checks it over to me, and we decide to bet around 2/3 pot, somewhere around there, and he thinks for a little while and makes the fold. So we drag another one our way. We got lucky on this one. He didn't have diamonds, but he did have a straight, so he did have us beat up until the river. But we were able to get there and scoop another pot. So let's go to the next hand. Alright guys, in this hand we are back to PLO, the great game, and we are on the $20 straddle. Corey opens it up with King 6-5 with King high of spades to $60. Dirty Dan decides to make the call with Ace King 8-7 double suited. PokerFaceAsh looks down at Queen Jack 5 with Jack high hearts and also makes the call. And Alex looks down at King Jack 9-6, King high clubs, and he also makes the call. We are on the $20 straddle, so it's only 40 more for us to complete, and we are close in action. So for this price, we're definitely going to see a flop, and we put in the call. We're taking a flop 5 ways, and it comes Queen 10-3 with 2 hearts. We flop ourselves bottom set, but everybody got a piece of it. Corey didn't really get much of this board. He just has the overpair, so he checks it over to Ash, and she decides to pot it. She bets $305, and Alex thinks for a few seconds and makes the call. Now, it's a really tough spot for me because I don't really want to get sandwiched. I don't want Corey or Dirty Dan to back race and put us in a tough spot. Bottom set in PLO versus these amount of opponents, it's normally not going to be doing really good. A large amount of the times we're actually going to be in like really bad shape. So I don't know. Hindsight, I think a fold probably was best. But since we were in position with Alex and we were really deep, we decided on a call. We wanted to play a big pot and wanted to see a safe turn, and also we kind of know that okay, Alex's range is somewhat capped because he only called the pot bet of PokerFaceAsh. So we go ahead and make the call. Corey gets out of the way, and Dirty Dan with his king high flush draw also makes the call. We take a turn 4 ways. The turn is the 8 of spades, so the flush draw doesn't get there, but Jack 9 does get there. Dirty Dan checks, and Ashley checks over to Alex as well. He thinks for a second and goes ahead and says the word pot. with $1,500 going into the middle, our bottom set is really not looking all that great anymore. If we were ahead on the flop, we firmly think that we're not ahead any longer, and we decide to just go ahead and let it go. So we fold our hand. However, Dirty Dan is still alive. He can catch a jack to make the nuts straight or a heart to make the second nuts. And he says that he's not done with the hand. He sticks the rest of the chips in there and goes all in for less. And so does PokerFaceAsh. She has about $1,000 left. This pot is well over $4,000 now. It's a pretty big pot. And Alex is going to have to fade a lot of things if he has to win. He has to fade a jack. He has to fade a heart. He has to fade the board pairing. So he does have the best hand right now, but he has to dodge a ton of outs in order to remain it being the best hand. They go to river 3 ways. There's no more action, and Alex is the luck box. So of course the river is a deuce of diamonds, as much of a brick as it gets. There is really nothing they can do. PokerFaceAsh was running pretty bad in this stream, which is one of the reasons why I decided to call on the flop, because I thought that she might have been a little bit tilted and potentially just had some sort of draw instead of a made hand. And like I said, again, Alex was somewhat capped, so didn't work out for us in this one. GG Alex, nice hand. We're gonna move to the next one. Alright guys, so in this hand we're back into the PLO streets. There's already talks about us changing the game after the stream is over. Instead of playing round by round, we are going to go to a straight PLO, which is probably going to be a lot more action. But I want to show this quick hand because I love when Wifey beats our friend Alex in any pot, especially in a big pot like this. So let's get into it pretty quick. Jen limps with King 10-9-7 double suited. Jared opens it up for $75 with Ace King Jack 8 with nut spades. Alex decides to flat with 10-9-6-6 double suited. He has diamonds and clubs, and I decide to close the action by flatting as well with Ace 10-3 deuce with nut clubs. The flop comes Queen Jack 8 with 2 diamonds. So both Jen and Alex flop the nuts. Long story short, they get it all in on the flop. Alex has a better diamond draw, but Jen has a better straight redraw, and they go ahead and get it all in. The turn is 4 of clubs, and the river is the 10 of clubs, which ends up giving Jen a king high straight, and Alex is gonna double her up. It is almost a $4,000 pot, I believe. And GG Jen, nice hand. Let's get into the next one. Alright guys, this hand starts with me in the small blind, Jen in the big blind, and Corey opening it up to $30. It folds around to Alex on the button, and he decides to 3-bet when he looks down at Ace King King 5. I decide to get in the mix with Ace 10-9-5, even though it's not a great candidate to play with out of position. There was not that much time left on the stream. I wanted to get involved in as many hands as I could, and it's also a lot harder for me to fold hands with Alex in the mix. So even though it's not a good call, and it's probably going to be really tough playing out of position against Jen, Corey, and Alex, Mama don't raise no quitters, so we got in the mix. Jen decides to call as well, and Corey calls also. So we're taking a flop 4 ways, which is 8-4-4 with 2 spades. We flop ourselves a nut flush draw, but it is a pair board and it's a multi-way pot in PLO, so we're not necessarily going to play it that aggressively. We check it over to them, and it checks around to Alex, who puts the C bet of $225. Like I said before, it's really hard for me to get away, especially if Alex is in the mix and he's the one betting and I have a nut draw. I put the money in there, and Jen and Corey decide to get out of the way. The turn is an 8 of diamonds, so puts the second pair on the board, this 8-4-4-8, and now it's less likely that he actually has a boat. So I think there is merit for betting here, but Alex, it's very tricky, and if I let out in here and he sniffed out my bullshit, there was a good chance that he could put me in a very bad spot by racing, and then I would be either forced to give up on whatever equity I have or make a mistake and make a bad call. So I decided to check it over to him, and he thinks for a few seconds and checks back. Now the river is the jack of spades, which gives us the nut flush, and we are pondering for a few seconds and trying to think how much we can get out of him, what kind of hands we can target. We decided to bet 500 bucks into $860. I think I was completely confused on this hand. I may be confusing with a different hand. I thought the graphics were wrong, and he had ace king king 5 with king high spades. And I thought that he called and showed me the king high spades, but I could be wrong. We might never know, because in the video it kind of shows that he folds. So I don't know where I got that from, but either way, if he calls, we ended up scooping a nice pot. If he folded, same thing happened. So that was it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching the streams. If you want to watch the full stream, you can go to GPC Live here on YouTube. Like and subscribe to that channel as well. We are going to be doing a bunch of meetup games once a month, the first week of every month, and we're also going to do streams pretty much every week. So if there's any questions or suggestions or anything you want me to add in these vlogs, please let me know. Reach out or leave a comment below, and I promise you I'm gonna keep doing this. And thank you so much for helping me grow this channel. I really appreciate you guys once again. Alright guys, that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, do me a favor and smash that like and subscribe button below, as well as the notification bell, so that if I put out a new video, YouTube notifies you and you're able to watch it. If you want to see the full stream with PokerFaceAsh, you can click also the link below. I will post the link for GPC Live. That's the YouTube channel for a poker room in Georgetown, Texas. So do me a favor, smash the like and subscribe button below. Subscribe to the Georgetown, Texas GPC Live channel if you want to watch all the streams. We're going to be doing streams pretty much every week with our Monster Meetup week there, the first week of every month. So if you enjoy watching poker, if you want to watch yours truly and a bunch of my crazy friends, just smash the subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the love and support, and thank you for joining me in this journey. I'll see you guys next time.